Hello and welcome to Studying Ndebele Patterns and the Art of Esther Mahlangu. So last time we took some visual notes. We sketched out a basic shape for the house and some of the patterns that we find on those Ndebele houses. Today we're going to put it all together, and for materials you'll need paper, pencil, marker, and a ruler. Next time we'll use colors, and you can use crayons or markers, but this time you just need those first few items. So go ahead and collect your paper, pencil, marker, and ruler. Hopefully you have your stuff now. We're going to start out putting our horizontal ground line in the picture near the middle of the paper. Then I'm going to start with my basic house shape. It's kind of a rectangle. Then over top in the middle I will put a dot, and from that dot I will draw two diagonal lines coming down to make the thatched roof. Now to show that it's made of grass, I'm going to put some lines in here, starting with a vertical line in the middle and then diagonal lines on the side that echo the roof line and become straighter or more vertical as they come towards the middle. Next, I'll put a little small door in the middle. I'm using a rectangle door for this project. If you decide that you want to use a different shape of door, make sure you watch this whole video first so that you know how you'll need to change your patterns. But for this video, I'm just going to be using the rectangle. So next, I'm going to put in my different rectangle sections, which will be filled in with patterns later. So I'm going to do a wide horizontal rectangle first over top of the door. And you can use your ruler or you can try to freehand it. It's up to you how exact you want to be. Next, I'm going to put some rectangles that are vertical right next to either side of the door, right under that first rectangle. And see how it's lining up so that it doesn't go past that top rectangle. And I leave a little space at the bottom too so that it doesn't touch the ground. Now I'll put one on the left. Trace the top. Alright, now I've got my door and my panels around the door, my rectangles around the door. Now I want to put big rectangles in these empty spaces on the side. So I'm going to start with my long side and put my top on. Go. And once again, I'm going to put the bottom on, and I don't want it to touch the ground. Alright, so I've got a pretty good rectangle there. And because the Ndebele houses are built with a lot of symmetry, that means I'm going to try to make my right side look like my left side. So I will put about the same size rectangle on this side. Try to get it pretty close. As part of the Ndebele culture, they took a lot of pride, or do take a lot of pride, in making the house look very nice and pristine. Next, we're going to draw the outer walls that go behind and in front of the house. So I'm going to start with the ones in front of the house here, halfway between the ground line and the bottom of the paper. I'm going to make a straight line, and then I'm going to end my wall with a stairs line. It comes down to the bottom. And of course, because of symmetry, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I have my straight line and my stairs line. And leave a little bit of space between those walls. That's where a person would get in to the house property. Alright, and now I'm going to add a little path here. I'm going to go from the bottom of the door to one of the corners of my stairs. So it makes it look like a little garden path. And my outer walls are going to go kind of behind my house here. Very similar to the front walls, right? Except my stairs will be on the opposite end. There we go. Alright, let's add some details to the door. I'm just going to throw some vertical lines in there to make it look like it's made out of wood. I'll add some little hinges here, just like that. Color them in just so you remember that that's supposed to be hinges. All right. Next, I'm going to start inserting patterns into these rectangles. So I'm going to start with a vertical line and an arrow that points up and an arrow that points down. I'm going to do that for my other one too. Next, I turn those arrows into rhombuses or diamonds. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on the other side as well. If you want to get more fancy than this, you can, of course. Since you've had practice with patterns already, you can put any kind of patterns in there that you like from watching the video of Esther Mahlangu's art. Here I'm adding some chevrons, and I'm using a horizontal line right here. That's going to help me draw my next shape, which is this leaf shape. I got curvy lines on top, curvy lines on bottom. There we go. Next, I'm going to fill in my big panels, and the way I do that is going to be, I'm going to get a little fancy here. So I'm going to make the bottom a small rectangle and the top a small rectangle. And it kind of lines up with my top, my rectangle that's over my door as well. It's about the same height as that one. There we go. And now I'll put patterns inside those sections. I'm going to go with a zigzag pattern on the top. Not exactly symmetrical, but pretty close. There's my zigzag. And on the bottom, I'm going to make the ladder pattern, sideways ladder. Horizontal ladder. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and add my triangles or chevrons as well. Okay, I'm going to leave those middle panels blank for now. I think those are going to be my windows. So now I'm going to add patterns to the outside wall. And this will be, it's going to start out as a long rectangle, but I'm actually going to turn it into squares or rectangular squares, little sections. It's up to you what you want to put in here. I'm just going to make some triangles at first. See where it takes me. There we go. Lots of triangles. And I'll add a little sun in the top. I'm going to fill up my rooftop with these hatch lines, these short little straight lines, diagonal lines, vertical lines. That will make the roof look more like it is made out of thatch, that woven grass. Then if you have time today, I'd like you to get your black marker and trace over your patterns and lines to make everything nice and clear. And when you're done tracing, of course, you'll want to erase any pencil lines that you don't want showing. And this might take a while. In fact, you might even need to finish it on the next class. But that's okay. So in the next class, we'll be using our colors to finish our picture, our composition, and I hope you ended up with something that you are proud of and are looking forward to coloring next time. See you in the next video.